Which is like I've got a few dot points here today of what we're going to run through, and the top one I've got here is confidence and stage presence, right? So is anyone right now confident enough to come out and pose in front of everyone right now? You reckon you would be pretty comfortable? I'm impressed, because a lot of people are normally like, no, fuck that, right? So one of the biggest things that we see, and Lucas, who's going to help us out today, he's competed a couple of times in the IFBB, really loves his posing, loves his classic stuff as well. So he's going to give you a hand if you've got any questions. Lucas can help out as well. But the biggest thing that we see, and we see a lot of people trying to overcome on stage, is just the lack of confidence, right? You can see it written all over people's faces. If someone walks out and they're head down, sort of looking at the floor, like not really confident in what they're doing, man, I fake it until I make it in every aspect of my life, right? As long as you look like you know what you're talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but you guys will believe me, it's fine. So as long as we fake it till we make it, right, you can overcome so much. And then even when we start talking about like the posing routine and the T-walk, even if you're not unsure, or even if you are unsure of what you're doing, as long as you look like you know what you're doing, your head's up high, your chin's up high, your chest is proud, then you're gonna overcome a lot of that, sort of that unsureness that you're kind of feeling. So, and that's what Tom was talking about in terms of finding what poses work best for you, is you wanna find out what poses you feel most comfortable in, because that's what's gonna look most comfortable on stage, and 9 times out of 10, if you're comfortable on stage, you look like you're supposed to be there, and that's what we want, right?
Absolutely. That kind of takes us to what we were just talking about before. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Correct.
Vacuum and classic, amazing. Do you have it? Don't hit it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it,
don't hit it.
Don't hit it.
Can anyone hit a vacuum here? Yeah? We'll tell you whether you can hit the vacuum or not, maybe. So perfect, vacuum.
Yeah. We also go through some tips on what you need to do every morning to make sure you can.
Yeah.
Example, I blew my waist out in off season. And I only left it for like 6 weeks out. I'm like, my front relax looks like a truck. Vacuumed every morning, went through 10 rounds in 5 days. Beautiful.
Yeah.
You can fix it really quickly just with consistency. The only caveat to that is if you miss a day, you're punched. So keep consistent to it, and practicing vacuum will allow you to do that. Even if you don't want to hit your vacuum, just being able to hit your core turn for longer and holding there will come in. Just get all that TPA kind of strength that you're in there.
And it's crazy, like when we're talking about vacuuming specifically, is like some of the times that I'll practice mine is when you're waiting for the microwave to finish, right? Something like that. When you turn the shower on, you're waiting for the shower to heat up, like you've got 45 seconds to a minute, just hit your vacuums whilst you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know, whilst you're brushing your teeth, whilst you're waiting.
Do your hair, I do my little buzzer, I just hit it, hold it. It's
vacuum.
Perfect, just keep sucking it
All of that stuff is going to add up over a long period of time, and it's just going to become routine. So that's what we want when we're talking about the comfortability and the confidence that comes with it. If you feel comfortable and confident hitting something, you're going to hit it so much better than you wouldn't. So things we're going to go over today, we're going to try and make it as broad as possible, but try and make it as specific to you guys as possible. So granted, we're not going to be able to spend quality one-on-one time with all of you. I think we've only got about an hour and a half, maybe tops. So we'll try and get through as much as we can. So we'll go through all the mandatories, we'll work out some transitions, we'll discuss the T-walk, because everyone knows the T-walk that they have to do. So we'll definitely go over that today, because that's going to be something that you're all going to need to know and be confident with. So we'll talk about that. I think the only people that aren't doing a T-walk are bodybuilders, but you're also doing classic as well. So you may as well learn it, and then that way we're across it. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So we'll go through that, we'll talk about the T-walk, and then we'll discuss the posing routine as well. So the posing routine isn't mandatory, but we're big advocates of posing. Please do it.
A couple things that happen to first timers. You think you're posing slow, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're rushing through it. Time is almost accelerated. You think you hit it, and you think you've held it like you practiced, but you haven't. So you slow down on stage as a first timer. There's so much adrenaline going on. It's ridiculous. So you're gonna rush through your poses and everything. The other one is looking down. You just don't know it. Because maybe when you've been taking photos, you've been setting up and you look down, bang. Like that's a nice one. You look down and hit it. I've looked down for too long because I've now just shadowed my abs from the light on there. So when we want to pose in practice, when we're doing photo shoots and stuff like that, totally different. Looking forward, don't necessarily look at the judge, just scan the crowd. Scan the crowd with your head.
And again, that's going to come back to the first point that I'm always going to, and I'm going to touch on this all day today, right? So confidence and stage presence. The second you look down, you show a lack of confidence. All right, even on a quarter turn. So if we're up in a quarter turn, so first front relaxed, so many people are really good in this shot, and they're really good in this shot. In between, you'll see this. Gut hangs out, head goes down, shoulders slump, and then they're like, yeah, I look really good in this pose. Yeah, cool, you're being judged in the 5 seconds in between as well. And the judge looks at you, and then sees your head go down and everything slumps down. Okay, I don't want to look at that anymore, I want to look at someone else. And this is touching back on the posing routine as well. There's no, it's not judged unless it's close. I worked with 3 posing clients this morning, all doing IFBB in 4 weeks time, and they're like, why do I even care about the posing routine? It's not getting judged. I said, if it's close between you and someone else, they're gonna go straight to that posing routine, and whoever's got the best posing routine is gonna win. And I've seen it decided so many times where physiques are so close on the day and they can't split them apart, so they wait for the posing routine. And like, that guy worked on his posing routine, that guy didn't. That guy's gonna win every fucking time. The other caveat to that is, you've just spent how long dieting, right? 16, 20 weeks, whatever the case may be. You don't wanna walk out on stage for 5 minutes and hit a couple of quarter turns with 5 other people on stage and then walk off again, right? You want 45 seconds of good quality footage of you hitting your favorite poses to a song that you really like, that you can show your kid in 20 years, and your kid's gonna be like, there's no way you fucking look like that. This is the best part about Classic, right? Is that there's no specific rules and guidelines to the poses that you hit. Obviously there's a specific style that they want. Like if they're asking for a front double and you hit a rear double, then we're probably gonna have some issues. Like if Mitch and I were standing next to each other, their posing would probably be really, really quickly, because Mitch is a lot better looking than I am. So they don't want to see a comparison. If it was me and Lucas, we're a lot closer together. So they want to make us pose for a lot longer, for example, to try and distinguish the difference. So it could be completely different depending on the day, depending on who you're up against, right? Cool. Let's get started. Perfect. So straight away we're going to do quarter turns. So I want everyone up into a front relax for me. So we're in a good spot here. So what we want to think about is that 9 times out of 10 the judges are going to be below you, correct? So we want to think that whatever's closest to the judges is going to look the biggest, whatever's the furthest away from the judges is going to look the smallest. So we've got a really good job here. So it's hard both of you before, right? So you can see how his hips are kind of a little bit further back and his chest is kind of forward in front of his hips. So if we're thinking, if the judges are down the bottom here and we're leaning back in a front relax like here, the judges aren't going to see my chest at all. So we hips back, right? We want to make sure our quads are nice and on, so we're soft through the knees, so we can feel those quads tense, right? So we want to come up nice and proud with our chest. So bring our chest nice and high. Good, perfect. And we want to create that taper. So we want to think about X-frame. So when we're thinking about classic bodybuilding, we want that taper from our shoulders down to our waist, and then we obviously want our quads to sweep out either side. So we want to build that X-frame, right? Very similar for you guys in fitness as well. You still want to have that taper, you still want to have that nice, very nice look. So that's a really good job. A really good cue that I like to give when we're doing any classic quarter turns or anything like that is the hold the broomstick analogy. So think about you holding a broomstick in front of yourself, right? So what that does is it gives you a nice square, even shape, right? So we get symmetry all year round. So some guys are kind of half and half, some guys are kind of riding a motorbike, some guys are riding a horse, right? We want to make sure that if we draw a line down the middle, either side, and up above and below, that we're symmetrical either way. So that's perfect, good. Cool, so we're in a good, really pretty good starting spot there.
Corkscrew your legs, heels in, toes in, push them out, spread the floor.
Yeah, so when you think about when we're creating a stimulus in the gym, we've got weight or cables or something to move against this, right? To create tension. When we're posing on stage, the only thing that we have to create tension is the floor. So use the floor. So spread the floor apart, push into the floor, perfect. So we want to create as much tension as possible so we can create that muscularity and get that muscle popping, right? So really think about spreading the floor, pushing your feet into the floor. We'll go through it as well when we're doing like our hamstring stuff. A lot of people struggle turning their hamstrings and glutes on, so we'll talk about some cues for that as well. Cool, quarter turn for me. All right, cool. No, you're good. That's why we're here, bro. That's why we're here. So feet together for me. So we can see here when we're talking about holding the broomstick. So if we're in the front relaxed, like you were there, what I want you to do is to keep your hips facing the wall that way. Everyone's listening. Hips facing that way. And what I want you to do is to try and turn your shoulders so they're facing that way. There we go, good. So what we're gonna do is if we're holding the broomstick, we're gonna bring this down here, good. So you look at your chest in the mirror. Look what happened when I did this. Look at that. Looks a bit different, right? I hope you're okay with me touching you, by the way. Cool. Lean forward just slightly for me. Good. Perfect. Set up a camera so you can't see yourself, obviously, and then go through a few different variations, a few different ways of trying to hit a pose or a technique, and then watch it back and see which one you prefer. But it's almost better to film it when you can't see yourself, because that way you're creating no connection there.
Front relaxed. You're fucking dying inside. It gets you. Because these poses started, if you watch Pumping Iron, how's Arnie posing? So we actually started bodybuilding in the 80s doing these.
as an actual relaxed
We just want to
pose.
see we want to see your physique. Now we take the piss and we're fucking doing this.
To the point where even when you're side of stage and they're judging other people and they're like, you can relax side of stage, don't fucking relax side of stage. So at all point, hit that pose right now. You better sleep like that, motherfucker, right? Because you need to be in that pose the entire time you're on stage. Like even when you're side of stage watching 5 other people get compared, bang, we're in that re-relax. Because, like I said, that could be the difference. You're being judged the entire time you're on stage. So if it's really close between you, and then once we're hitting mandatories and all of our poses and they still can't figure it out, they put you off to the side and they judge other people, and you're standing side of stage like this the whole time, and you're standing side of stage like this the whole time. Who's gonna win? Right? So we're always on, always on. If you can get 1% on someone else on stage, I'm taking that 1% every time. Right? And that's the way you want to think. Should set up each pose. We like to specifically talk from the floor up and then working our way back down again. So the first thing you should do whenever callers get called out is make sure your feet are set, make sure your quads are on, make sure your legs are ready to go where they're supposed to be, and then we'll come up and hit the pose, and then 9 times out of 10 guys will hit a pose and the legs will just shut off completely. Right? So that's why I say work from the floor all the way up and then remember to work your way back down again. So whenever I'm setting up a pose, so they'll call out a front double, I'll hit my variation, so like my quads are on, so I'm good. Breathe all the air out, open up into a front double, and then I'll remember to sit on my quads again and make sure that I'm holding that pose, hold that for a good 5 count. If I need to catch my breath, and then pull up again, right? So don't be afraid to reset yourself. If you're sitting there shaking, breathing, struggling, blah, 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 just feel free to just set yourself and then come up and hit that pose again. Perfect, all right. So we're pretty comfortable with that. So from a front double, we'll go to a side chest. Cool, okay. So can we notice the biggest difference between these 2 side chests? Yeah? So here we're kind of twisted a little bit more. We're kind of leaning forward a little bit more, which might work best for his physique. I'm gonna tweak some things for you real quick to see if we can change. Hit into side chest for me. See how big and proud and strong his chest is? Just, you might look the exact same standing there, but just from posing differently, we're giving you a very different look. So he's really like prominent and big with his chest. See how much bigger your chest looks here by pushing that chest up, right? Now, a common mistake that a lot of people make when they're posing is posing small to look more conditioned, right? When we're on stage, hopefully, we're gonna be in the best shape of our life, right? So we should be as lean as we possibly should be. So we should be thinking about posing to look bigger, not look leaner. Does that make sense? Cool? So when we hit that pose again, we want to try and make ourselves look as big as possible. So if we're hitting the side chest, so I could hit it, so if everyone's looking in the mirror, so you can see me kind of like in the same angle, all right? So if I'm hitting this shot just here, right, I could hit the shot like this, not bad, I'm not upset about it, it's a pretty decent shot, right? But I'm not showing as much as I could possibly show. So if I was going to set it up, get that quad, hamstring as nice as possible, make it nice and full, and then I'm coming up, right, and I'm showing everything. So I'm showing all my arm here, I'm showing all of my chest, I'm showing my opposite delt, and I'm showing my opposite tricep, right? So the difference between that shot and that shot, very different, right? So you want to think about looking as big and creating the biggest shape and silhouette. You know,
like a rose in a way.
Yep. So really think chest up, right? And really breathe all the air into that chest there and make that look and feel as big as possible, right? So hit that shot for me again. So he's got his feet set up, good. So we've got all these chest striations here because he's pushing everything across. We get a nice full arm here. We've got delt striations coming out because I guarantee you're pushing down on your hand right now, right? So again, we don't have any weights to create tension, so we've got to use what we've got, the floor and our arms. So when we're hitting a side chest, we'll hit it again. I want you to look at the difference between hitting a side chest where we're just squeezing and then hitting a side chest where we're creating tension. So if we're looking at my arm in a side chest, bang, hitting a side chest just by squeezing my bicep. The second that I apply downward pressure and upward pressure, right? We see so many more striations, we see a lot more fullness, right? We're maximizing the potential in our physique there. So for me, right, I have relatively strong hamstrings from the side. So right now, right, so my hamstring is, can everyone see my hamstring right now? Yep, so right now my hamstring is relaxed, right? The second that I contract my hamstrings, disappears. See you later. So right now I'm tensing my hamstring and I'm pulling it up. So if like second I relax, let that hamstring drop, look at that hamstring there. So what I will do is with the toes, and like Tom was saying, see my knees? My right knee is over the top of my left knee right now. So I'm not side by side, I'm all the way across. So as I come all the way across looking in the mirror, see how much that pushes that hamstring out. There's no way my hamstrings look that big in real life. So as I push my quads into the floor, my toes into the floor, watch the top of my quad, right, as it separates. So what I'm gonna do is push my toes down into the floor because we don't have any other way to create tension, so I'm gonna use the floor. As I push my toes down, see that? Right, there's the difference right there. And that's just from me pushing my toes into the floor. So leaving my hamstring relaxed, tensing that, and then squeezing my glutes. So we've got different variations here. So we've got more of a front-on, classic sort of style of a side tricep here, which is great. We've got this men's fitness side tricep, which is as good as a men's fitness side tricep I've ever seen. We've got some sort of like the old school kind of style of side tricep here. We're a bit more side on. And then we've got a different setup of feet again, right? One thing that I do like to specify with a side tricep is we don't want this shoulder to disappear completely. Right? We want to look as wide and as broad as possible on stage. Perfect. See how you made that adaptation there? So we're always looking for a V taper in every pose that we're in. Front shot, side shot, we want to be as wide as possible from here and as small as possible through here. So we want to think about that, right? Me personally, I prefer to hit a side tricep front on because that accentuates my strengths and hides my weaknesses. If I hit a side tricep side on, I look narrow and terrible. But the second that I sort of open up and show my width through my clavicles and through my shoulders, and then I can hit that shot, right? Everything kind of looks a little bit nicer. But that's just me personally.
So let's all set up in a traditional side tricep and then work on
variations to
transition to a...
Yeah, just finding out what works best for you and what looks best for you in different transitions is going to be really, really important to A, you looking your best, and B, you feeling the most comfortable and confident, which again, going back to the whiteboard is going to be one of the most important things. So we're going to set our feet up. So one leg back in a spiked calf. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up your feet first. So set up how you were originally set up. Probably not the greatest for balance. Probably not. We'll push you over. See you later. All right, so set up for me. So what I want you to do is, which foot do you have back, left or right?
Usually do it right.
Right? Cool. So the way we'll set up, so for me, plant my left foot, that's going to be my base foot, that's going to hold all my weight bearing. And then with my right foot, I'm going to do what we like to call screw into the floor. Right? So we're going to come just outside of shoulder width apart. And I'm going to start with my heel turned out, and then I'm going to screw it into the floor like that, and then I'm going to sit back on it. So what I'm doing there is I'm creating a mind muscle connection to the hamstring and the glute. So what I'm doing is I'm screwing into the floor, and you should be able to see, hopefully, my hamstring turn on from there, right? And then I'm locked in. And then from there, put all our weight on our left leg. Cool? So we've got the hamstring turned on there, and then we're going to pull up into our back double. The distance that I like to say is perfect is that your legs are wide enough that we're open, but not too wide that our adductors aren't touching. So a really big cue that I give with all of my posing is no gaps. All right, as soon as you start to see gaps in a physique, you can see flaws in a physique. So if we can see air right through those legs there, we got a gap. All right, and now from here, everyone watch the back for me. So now what we've done is by bringing those elbows forward, so if you watch from the back, if you come back this way, see how his back is quite shallow now?
Yeah.
We don't have quite the same taper. The second that we hit that pose and we come forward, see how everything opens up? Yeah. Again, he's going to look as lean as shit on stage, so we want to make him look as big as possible. So we want to create that taper. So think there when we're here, elbows forward. Good, nice. Everyone's nailing that pretty fucking well, to be honest with you. Everyone does an abdominal on thigh, which is perfect. So we're all going to do an abdominal on thigh. This is another pose where you guys can kind of play around with it and make it your own, right? All they want is they want to see a quad, and they want to see your abs. What you do with the rest of your body is kind of up to you. So the most popular is obviously the 2 hands behind the head, right? Is that how everyone would normally hit it? Yep, all right, we'll start with that then. Cool. Cool, perfect. So we've got a few different variations here.
On top of that, I was going to show you that.
Yeah.
But for abdominal fly, this may apply to some people. The thickest part of our waist is front on. So what I found with my posing is when I get into it, I go here. I hit it up, coming up. Arms, cup clasps.
I don't like clasp personally.
Sorry, there. Yeah. We're hitting there.
So let's show 2 people why. So hit the hands clasped behind the head for me. So what I like to do is actually open that up and put the backs of the hands together and the backs of the knuckles together. Now look at his arms. Now again, we're talking about X-frame, we're talking about shape. So the difference between, pull up for me again one more time. So the difference between the X-frame here and the X-frame here, see how much different that looks? All right, so that's what we're trying to accomplish with this shot. All right, and then again, for Tom, his quads are a little bit different. He likes to sort of hide his waist, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
because he feels like that might be a weakness of his. So it's again, we're accentuating strengths and we're removing from weaknesses. So me personally, I pull a really nice vacuum from the front. My waist just goes to nothing. And I have terrible biceps. So I try and hide my biceps and accentuate my waist, right? That's just what I like to do. So again, the way that Tom and I would hit a front abdominal, completely different. Both look great in their own right, but completely different. And that's what I'm trying to talk about with you guys, is finding what works best for you, what you're gonna feel most comfortable hitting. All right, so let's pull up into an ab and thigh. So everyone hit an ab and thigh for me. See how he's so focused on the upper body right now? And the ab and thigh is an entire pose, right? So you can have everything perfect from here to here. If you forget about what's going on down here, see you later.
I call it split to the hip. If you're walking that stage and you're not split to the hip,
Split to the hip.
you're not conditioned.
Yeah.
You might be split to the hip, but you're not posing it, then I don't care. These are coming out. Bang.
Split to the hip. See what he's got right there? But Tom makes a really good point. The judges don't know what body fat percentage your coach said you were 2 weeks out. The judges don't know, that you looked good a week ago, or that you do have quad separation or glute separation. If you don't show it on stage, you don't have it. It's as simple as that. And I tell this story every single time, and I've seen it every single show I've been at. I've seen someone with a good physique lose to someone with a less than impressive physique because the posing was completely different. And I can't understand how you can spend 16 weeks on the fucking stepper, eating fish and rice, not sleeping, pissing 487 times a day, right? And not work on your posing and be that the reason why you didn't win. It breaks my heart to see guys murder themselves and then let it all go to the wayside because they didn't practice their posing, which is the one thing that you can fucking control. That's what I mean, right? Yeah. And the only way you're gonna get better at posing is posing. It's really as simple as that. We can give you all the critiques and all the cues and all the ways to help you be better, which are gonna help you, but the only way you're gonna get better at posing is by practicing posing. It's as simple as that. And I wish that there was a secret cheat code or there was something that we could do and made you guys better, but the only way you're gonna get better at it is just by posing.
Cool. Back to the leg thing, get your coach to call it out to you. Have a code word. Try not to make it, hey Tom, legs on, because then I'll be like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, his legs aren't on. Just be like, say a word. Get your coach to yell at a word that cues you. Don't because if you say legs on, then all the boys are gonna put legs on. So you're helping all of them.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Get your coach to help you. Code word for your coach.
Perfect.
Arden knows all about.
I think it's really important to pick a song that you're comfortable with and that you know really, really well, so that you can flow to it. And if you do mess up for whatever reason, you know how the song goes, so you can go back into hitting your poses when you need to. Something that flows well, something that has a good solid beat to it. I find it really looks really good when you sort of hit on like a beat. I had a posing client this morning. We were working with his posing routine for the IFBB. Do you know the song Sail by Airwall Nation? And then you like hit it on the beat, like that type of stuff. So really be mindful of that it's not too fast beat, it's not too slow, that there's a really good heavy beat behind it that you can flow with.
For your T-walk, have a variation that you might want to change. You don't have to, but you'll see on the day how fast they're moving, and then you can just throw that in. So it's so easy to have a variation of every pose. Side chest first coming, bang, bang. So
one of my favorite quotes when it comes to posing, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
Bodybuilders, when they do the front double bicep, some of them do the vacuum, and some don't. They want to push their abs.
Yeah, so that's a decision you and your coach make. Be like, so Nick Walker's one is like, there's a little bit of a vacuum, there's a little bit of crunch down. It's hard to say, like, you just need to know how you're going to come in, how it makes your waist look. So that's a good coach question.
So I don't know if any of you guys know who Charles Griffin is. Big open bodybuilder, has very asymmetrical and a split midsection. So when he crunches down, it just doesn't look pretty. But when he pulls up into a vacuum, it looks immaculate, right? So it's like what works best for you.
A good way to do it, short torso, not really. Hey, short torso, medium torso, yes, long torso, yeah. But then again, if you got pigeon ribs, then no. It's just like looking at it. But allow you to be the choice. Do you like your physique with a vacuum? Yep, then fucking hit it.
Yeah, I feel like a lat spread vacuum.
When you're doing your pose down, this is one thing that I always say, know where like your friends and family are sitting. And go and fucking hit some poses right in front of them, get some really sick photos, like that type of stuff. If you have any questions whatsoever, it doesn't matter how big, small, little, indifferent, message the A&D page. If you've got any questions about posing, judging, whatever the case may be, message Tom or I. That's a wrap.